So I'm Josh Wills. I'm Cloudera's Senior Director of Data Science. I'm constantly interrupted by our CEO, Mike Olson, walking by. I came up with the definition of a data scientist that is convenient and compact and short enough to fit into a tweet, which is that a data scientist is someone who is better at statistics than any software engineer and better at software engineering than any statistician. And as far as definitions that are less than 140 characters go, it's a pretty good one. A lot of people ask me what I do, like what do I spend my time doing, and I think there's a bunch of misconceptions about that right now, and I want to clear them up a little bit. First and foremost, I have my own misconceptions about what I do. In my mind, I am a mathematician. I do spend all my time writing equations and coming up with new mathematical models, and that's how I think of what I do as a data scientist. I think other people think of me as a data visualization expert, or when you typically see a data scientist speaking, it's usually in the context of some very cool visualization of an interesting data set, right? And that's what most people associate with data science. When it comes right down to it, though, what most of us spend our time doing is cleaning data and preparing data, and that is far and away the dominant way that we spend our time, right? Everything we do to clean data is really basically the highest ROI use of our time. Because a cleaner data set means better analysis, better models, better products, all that stuff over time. So when I talk to you about data science and how it's different from traditional data warehousing, like enterprise data warehousing, what we typically talk about is sort of a different mentality or a different way of thinking about problems. So first and foremost, as a data scientist, I build data products. I build things like classifiers. I build things like recommendation engines. That's like the work I do, right? So instead of a traditional data warehousing team where data will flow from operational systems into a data warehouse, like a one-way flow, I think of a circle. I think of data flowing back from my analytical engine, from my Hadoop cluster, back into my operational systems, and making decisions in a production environment. So as a data scientist, it's not just a data processing capability. There's also a DevOps sort of skill, or the ability to bring things into production. That's a really important part of the job. Another thing I like to talk to people about is data abundance versus data scarcity. A lot of data warehousing teams think in terms of, I have this big box and I have 25 terabytes of data that I'm allowed to put into it, and so I have to be very careful about what I keep, what I throw away, and be sure that I'm using my data resources as efficiently as possible, right? And as a data scientist with a Hadoop cluster, I don't really worry about that so much anymore. I have an abundant supply of data, so I'm in a position to keep basically everything. I can keep my raw data, I can keep my cleansed data, I can keep intermediate data steps, I can keep denormalized data. I keep virtually everything. And this allows me to work much, much, much faster, which is really what I want to do as a data scientist. I want to work and try out new ideas as fast as I can, right? So a big part of that, work for me is parallelizing everything I do, right? Every single step from my data preparation to my data normalization to creating models to deploying models, I parallelize every single one of these things. And that's basically what allows me to move quickly, try out lots of new ideas, and be very effective.